Hello everyone, Angelo here, Hollywood filmmaker. I've been doing a lot of screenwriting lately. Still busy with my job and screenwriting, that's basically it. And my shoulder impingement. It's been over 2 months now I've had it. It's getting better. I've got this chair. I don't want to move the camera because it's kind of hard to keep it in a good position. But I have this office chair now and this desk I'm at, and it's helping, but like I got to be in a good position all times, and I have this this thing I put behind my back once in a while. Anyways, I'm stretching on that bar over there, but I still am not totally recovered yet. It sucks. Every Sunday morning when I iron my clothes, I wash them and iron them, bending over it, that hurts my neck. And anyways, I was thinking today, somehow I got to thinking about where I'm from. I almost don't want to say it because it's so unpleasant to think about. Arlington, Virginia. Not a horrible place, but for me, I couldn't. I guess I hate it, but it's not that I completely hate it. There's certain things like I want to know about it or I want to like about it. And I lived around different places. I didn't move a ton of places, but I lived in a few areas, most notably Annandale. And somehow I got to thinking about this today, and it just, every once in a while, it's like my curiosity is piqued, and I want to think, like, how do people live in Northern Virginia, or anywhere in Virginia, I guess, but Northern Virginia? And then I got to thinking about how depressing it was living there, how small it was, how, it was, it was a reasonably sized place. I think there were over 200,000 people living in Arlington, and plus you figure in DC and the whole metro area there, at least 1 million people or so, I don't know. But even so, Arlington and Northern Virginia, it's mostly suburbs. You have these little strips where there are businesses, and then you have shopping centers, but you have these little, areas like Clarendon Boulevard turns into Courthouse Road in Arlington. That's like their downtown, and it amazes me now. It's just tiny little buildings stacked next to each other. It is nothing compared to, I can look out my window and see skyscrapers here in LA, in Hollywood, and I can see in the other direction, I can see mountains, and I can see the Hollywood sign, and for me, anyways, so I don't want to get off track already, but I got to thinking about this and how horribly depressing it was there. I felt so like I couldn't be myself. And I was just wondering about that. Like, what's that about? Is that, or do other people go through that? And I was just searching stuff like people who hate their hometown, or people who felt they needed to move from their hometown. And sure enough, there were tons of results of people who felt the same way. And specifically, I was looking for people who felt similarly like to how I do, where they didn't fit in there. They couldn't be themselves there. Maybe it was a smaller town for some people. One person I read, it was like a town of 1,500 people where everybody knew everything they were doing. It wasn't quite like that where I lived. But the thing is, I say it wasn't quite like that, and at the same, there was over 200,000 people. So how could I say, oh, quite like it? Like it should be totally different, right? Well, I guess it's like this anywhere. But like when I worked at a bar, or I worked at a few bars, but mainly one bar for a few years, it's like, you see the same people a lot. Everybody hears what's going on. Everybody knows what's coming and going. You do one thing in one part of the bar, it's like people on the street know before everybody else in the bar knows what happened. Everybody's talking about it and stuff, and it was just, I didn't hate the work. Being a bouncer, it was the longest job I ever held, 5 years. But the way I put it is, and I'm trying not to talk too loud because I got my roommate across the hall. The way I put it is, I hated myself when I was working there because I just couldn't be myself. No matter what, I couldn't be around the people I wanted to be around, where I could just be around something film related and entertainment related. I couldn't talk about those things so much. I almost never told people at the bar. So eventually they did find out that I was making YouTube videos, and they were calling me like, "Yo, Chef Angelo." I'm like, "What?" And one of my coworkers, a server there, she showed me a video. She's like, "Is this you?" I was like, "No, that's not me." And she was laughing. She's like, "Hey, Angelo's denying it." I'm like, "Oh, great." But even so, like I couldn't. Okay, like it was a novelty to them, but to me, it was what I was doing every day. So it was so, it was just like it felt like I was suffocating, like I was dying inside. On top of that, I was too comfortable, and that's something I saw someone else say, a good reason to move out from your hometown. If you're too comfortable there, set in your routine. Say you're too, introverted, or not necessarily just introverted. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But when you move to a new place, it makes you be more resourceful. And that's definitely what I felt. And I had to learn how to go out and be comfortable talking to people and introducing myself to others and learning how to just make conversation with a stranger where there's no pressure. You're just talking, you say, "Hi, what's your name? How'd you end up here?" Instead of just ask a few follow-up questions, and learn how to say, "Well, it's nice meeting you. I'm going to go say hi to some people," or whatever. And just seeing what different people's reactions are. A lot of people are nice. Some people are really nice. Some seem uncomfortable. You get the rare person who just seems like they don't want to talk at all. Very rare. And stuff like that, I could not do in Northern Virginia, and I couldn't afford to do. And of course, I was living in my car the last 6 months there, but I'm glad I ended up living in my car. To me, it was a privilege to be able to do that and push myself and finally realize, like, everything I want to do, it's leading to LA. The people I'm talking to, like, I already had connections out here and new people, and was getting set up with a little bit of work that saved my life basically when I got here. And it was like, I knew. It amazes me now. I was thinking about this, like, how did I know I should move to LA? And it just, it was slowly creeping over me, the thought, and it just hit me one day. And it was actually talking to my mom in the kitchen after we filmed the video, I think, where we were talking somehow, and I had the impulse to go to LA before, but I was like, not yet. It just doesn't seem like it's time yet. And this was like 3 or 4 months before I did end up going there. And I was talking to my mom, and I was like, maybe I should go to LA at some point, get where. And she said, like, "Yeah, maybe you should," something like that. But when she said, I think I remember this clear. I don't know, maybe I don't. But what I know happened was, like, I think she was at the sink. She was like washing dishes or something, and she was like, "Yeah, maybe you will go to LA." And that's when I immediately thought, "Oh, I have to go to LA." Or she said something like, "Yeah, Angela." No, I think she was even more definitive than that. She said, like, "Yeah, you probably will go to LA." And I remember thinking, like, "Oh, I will." And it's funny, I told her afterwards that's what made me want to go to LA. And she's like, "Damn, why'd I have to say that?" Not necessarily in all a bad way, just like she couldn't believe that's what made me want to go. Because, of course, there's an aspect of it where she wanted me to stay, but, I talk to her often now. And now she's really glad I went, even though I'd like her to be here, and we've talked about it, and where she feels more confident about the idea of coming to LA and how she'd like to be here, and she knows there's opportunities here. And even though it's expensive and all that, and obviously it's amazing how I think all my problems are solved in here in LA, and it's like a new set of problems the next week or two show up, and I'm grateful for them. I'm glad for them. It pushes me, and I realize, things are evolving. And as I was in my kitchen today and just looking out at the clean living room, because my one crypto trading roommate, he's out on vacation right now. Yeah, with the pandemic raging, um, he's not dirtying up the place. And I thought, this place is so nice. I have a big, nice, like, it's a loft that I live in. So outside my room, and even my room's nice now, especially now that I have it decently furnished. But um, it's such a nice big loft, and I have all this luxurious space, but I don't even want to, like, luxuriate in anything. I was sitting here writing for like 4 hours today, 3 or 4 hours, with like the internet off, didn't check any email, nothing. And getting up at 3:45 in the morning, exercising, trying to stick to a strict schedule. So even if I didn't write all I want, I'm pushing myself to be like, you don't get to stay up late and write. You got to go to sleep early, rest well, be healthy, lose weight. I gained a little weight in the last few weeks, and do it right the next day. And I forget where I was going with that, but realizing when I was looking out, the window and stuff in my apartment, I'm like, oh, I won't always be here. This is, for now, it's a good place to be, but eventually it's gonna like turn for me. It's just gonna evolve. Like, I'm gonna see it turn where it's like, oh, I shouldn't be here and I should go somewhere else. I see I'm in that process, but I'm not there yet. And that's kind of like what it was getting ready to go to LA. It's like I had the idea, the inkling of it, but I wasn't quite ready to go. So, and I forget how I did end up deciding like the end of April to go. Like, why not a week earlier or something? I don't remember exactly why I decided. That particular day I left, whatever, April 28th or 29th, and 28th or 29th. And I ended up arriving here May 3rd. But I remember, like, first of all, I had to be resilient the trip across the country. My car was overheating. I had problems in Tennessee. I was so worried I was going to be stranded there. And barely made it. Had to spend extra money fixing the car, which Firestone did refund. They were good about that. But because it didn't fix anything. And when I finally got to Rancho Cucamonga, the traffic was bad. My car was overheating, so I pulled over at some park along the freeway, the 405, and I was so excited. I was like, this is the 405 that I've heard about. And I was at some big park, and I was so happy, so excited just to be an hour outside of LA in Rancho Cucamonga. And anyways, today I was thinking, like, I was getting so depressed and miserable thinking how stifling and trapped I felt in Virginia, that it's like everything's small. The roads are small, the houses are small, the buildings are small. And I was talking to my mom. I was like, I was like almost like laughing like at how depressing it was. I was like, Mom, how do you deal with it there? I'm like, why do people like even bother buying nice houses there? I used to shoot real estate videos, and plus the Loudoun County in Virginia is like the richest county in the country, at least last time I checked, like a year or two ago. And Northern Virginia and Southern Maryland have some of the richest counties in the country. And I said, why bother? Why do people bother? Like, what? It's laughable to me. Like, why do you want a life there where you have this nice home and you're just around this like stifling environment? And there's a lot of retrograde attitudes and negative attitudes there and stuff, and prejudice, and I'm not saying it's the worst place, but I definitely saw a bit of that at the just out. I don't even like talking about, but I saw it, and it's just kind of there, and some people, seem like they want to make things better, and then some people, they don't even like anything getting better. And I asked my mom, what's the point of having a nice place there? You live in this dump little suburb. And I was getting so depressed, spinning out. And she's like, well, Angelo, not everyone can afford to move to LA. And I was like, well, do you want to be here? And she's like, well, yeah, maybe I'll see it, like I'll see what it's like. But I think the fact that I'm telling her every day, like, I got to write today, just got to keep writing. Now she like gets how important it is, and seeing how it's working out here, and I'm able to save money, and I'm pushing myself to make more videos. I stopped watching Love, Death, and Robots, which was amazing. I'm loving watching that because I should have done all that stuff earlier and written earlier to have time for this. So I wanted to make this, and I'm like, nope, cut myself off, go straight to sleep, no phone, and while I'm sleeping or trying to lie down, and just do it again the next day, and this shoulder impingement. Anyways, so what I'm saying is, moving out of your hometown could very well be a good idea. I'm glad I left. I'm glad I'm not there. I would like to go back and shoot movies there. Even though it might be depressing to be there. But last time it was depressing to be there. I went back for like a week and I filmed some videos there. I was partly, first of all, I was already depressed, but LA immediately did so much to help me out, even though it was hard. But I would have rather been here than anywhere. It wasn't even a choice to be somewhere else. But I went back to Virginia for a bit, thinking, oh, it's going to be so nice to be home again. No, it was bitterly miserable from the moment I got to the airport. Where did I go? Dulles Airport? Or did I land at Reagan? No. I think I had to drive a ways. I think I was at Dulles Airport. Yeah. Anyways, But whatever, it's all in the past. I don't like to think about it. I had to refocus myself and remember to say, look, I'm in LA. I'm in this great big city. Like, I can enjoy it here. I don't have to think about that other place I'm from. But, you know, it helped partly made me who I am, and I'm glad I'm here and just doing things here. So anyways, it just got me to thinking about that. I wanted to talk about on something on video that's not just a problem, but something that's kind of, you know, a good thing, or I don't know how to put it, like something, you know, with possibility for a video instead of just whatever problems I'm having this week. Love, Death, and Robots is amazing. By the way, Nathan Barnett, I've been watching his live streams. He's so charismatic on video, and he deserves a lot more support. He's had millions more views than he ever gets credit for, because people just share his video, or they take his videos, I should say, and upload them on their Facebook pages or whatever, and they don't credit him for all this viral stuff he's done. So go check him out. And, you know, I've worked with him a little, and he's incredibly talented and hardworking. I don't know how he does it, but anyways, I hope he's back in LA sometime. He moved for the time being. I'm glad he moved, in that I'm just glad he's found a situation that's working for him. So anyways, consider moving from your hometown. And yeah, it just made it. By the way, I'll just say real quickly, because I want to get to sleep. LA made everything, like, there's more resources here, but also it just made it easier for me to be like more, you know, like be out around people, talk to people, to be myself, to be like sort of I don't know, I don't want to say like more outgoing, but like just more I had more opportunity here to just be around people and connect with people and feel like I'm being myself. I was not myself in Virginia, and I felt like a lot of times I was trying to kill off my dream of being a filmmaker and screenwriter, because it was so painful to think about this thing that I could never have, or that I thought I would never have, while I'm facing, you know, these same surroundings every day and every week. But fortunately, I could never kill it. It would always come back, you know. And I was never like, it was never totally gone. I just mean like, just to cope with the day, I would kind of subdue it and keep it out of sight. But it kept coming back, and eventually it's like, you know, my dream told me, okay, it's time to go do this. So it made it easier to be, I'll just say, more outgoing. Or, I don't like that word. I don't know. It just feels weird to say it, but more connected to people, more sociable, more just more myself, more. And so it does make a difference when you're talking about depression and stuff, if you move to an environment that's more suitable for you, and with more like-minded people. I guess that's what I should say. I'm around people where we understand what we're doing here, like we understand what each other is doing, because we're into the same thing. In Virginia, it was very hard to find that. So anyways, I gotta go to sleep. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. I'm going to try and make more videos. Bye.